Listen up, you're out here giving your best, your time, your energy, your love, you show up, you support, you go the extra mile, and yet they don't see it, they don't appreciate it. They act like you'll always be there, like you'll always say yes, like your presence is guaranteed. But what happens when you stop, when you walk away, when your absence forces them to feel what they've lost? That's when everything changes. Because people don't value what they assume is permanent. People don't value what they assume is permanent. Think about it. The sun rises every morning, so no one wakes up in awe. Water flows from the faucet, so no one stops to appreciate every drop. You're always there, always available, always saying yes. And that's why they don't see your value. People don't notice what's constant. They assume it'll always be there. They assume you'll always be there. And that assumption, that's the problem. It's not that they don't care. It's that they've never had to imagine life without you. Take a step back and watch what happens. Suddenly they realize all the things you did for them. Suddenly they notice the effort you put in, the calls, the messages, the support, the energy. You were a force in their life, but they never stopped to acknowledge it because you never gave them a reason to. Here's the truth. People wake up when they're forced to, when the familiar disappears, when the comfort is gone, when they're left with nothing but absence. That's when they see. That's when they feel the void. That's when the regret kicks in. You've seen it happen. You've been in a relationship where you gave everything and they just expected it. Then one day, you walked away and suddenly they're texting, calling, begging to talk. Why? Because now they feel it. Now your presence isn't a given. It's a loss. But this isn't just about relationships. It's about everything. Your job, your friendships, your energy, your time. If you're too available, if you're too constant, if you never create space for people to miss you, they won't appreciate you. It'll assume you're just part of the background. Look at the most in-demand people in the world. They're not always available. They don't answer every call. They don't say yes to everything. And that's why people chase them. That's why people respect their time, because their presence isn't guaranteed. Your time is a privilege. Your energy is a gift. The second people assume it's permanent, they stop valuing it. So make them feel the difference, create space, step back, let them realize what you bring to the table, not by telling them, but by removing it. That's when they'll see. That's when they'll understand. 2, disrupt predictability, make them notice. Predictability is the fastest way to be ignored. If people always know what you're going to do, they stop paying attention. If they can predict your reaction, your response, your next move, they don't need to think about you. You become routine, and routine gets overlooked. Look at your own life. How many people in your circle expect you to be the same, to show up the same way, to react the same way, to stay in the same patterns? That predictability is exactly why they don't notice you. They don't have to. They've already decided who you are, how you'll act, and what you'll accept. So disrupt it. Change the pattern. Stop responding immediately. Stop agreeing to everything. Stop being the person they assume you'll be. The second you break that cycle, they wake up. They notice. They wonder what's different. And in that moment, you shift the power. This isn't about manipulation. It's about commanding attention. When you change your habits, when you break expectations, people can't ignore you. They have to reevaluate you. They have to reassess how they treat you. Imagine someone who always says yes, suddenly saying no. Imagine someone who always chases, suddenly walking away. Imagine someone who always waits, suddenly deciding they're done waiting. That shift is electric. It forces people to see you in a new light. And it's not just personal. This applies to success. The biggest breakthroughs happen when someone dares to do what's unexpected, when they go against the grain, when they take risks, when they refuse to follow the script. That's what makes people watch. That's what makes people listen. Predictability is a cage. It keeps you in the same cycle, the same role, the same level of impact. If you want to be valued, if you want to be respected, if you want to be remembered, break it. Change your rhythm, change your habits, change your presence. Make them notice. 3, distance creates demand. If something is always within reach, people stop reaching for it. If something is always available, they stop feeling the urgency to claim it. The moment you create distance, the moment you pull back, the moment you make yourself less accessible, everything shifts. Look at the way people react to scarcity. A product that's always on the shelf, no rush. But the moment they hear limited stock, they move, they take action, they want it more. It's human psychology. When something isn't guaranteed, people desire it more. Now apply that to yourself. When you're constantly around, constantly replying, constantly making the effort, people don't feel the need to do anything. They assume you'll always be there, so they don't chase. They don't value, they don't prioritize. But the second you step back, the second you stop initiating, the second you create space, they feel it. The absence makes them question. The gap makes them curious. They wonder where you are, why you're not reaching out, what's changed. And in that space, demand grows. Think about how relationships work. When you're always available, always accommodating, always showing up, people get comfortable. They assume you'll always be an option. But when you create distance, when you focus on yourself, when you stop giving them unlimited access, suddenly they see your value. Suddenly they realize they don't want to lose you. It's the same in business. The most in-demand people aren't the ones begging for attention. They're the ones who create demand by being selective with their time. They're the ones who make others work for access. They're the ones who don't drop everything for just anyone. That exclusivity makes people want them more. If you want people to step up, if you want people to respect your presence, if you want people to crave your time, you have to stop handing it out so freely. You have to create space. You have to let them feel what it's like when you're not around, because when they feel that loss, when they realize you're not always going to be within reach, that's when they move. That's when they chase. That's when they finally understand your worth. 4, silence is more powerful than begging for respect. Talking too much, explaining too much, proving too much, it weakens you. People who beg for respect don't get it. People who demand attention don't hold it. Power isn't in words, it's in presence, it's in action, it's in silence. Look at the most respected people. They don't argue for their worth. They don't plead to be seen. They don't fight for a seat at the table. They let their results speak. They let their energy command the room. They let their absence be felt louder than any words they could say. Weak people over-explain. They justify. They chase. They think that if they just talk a little more, if they just try a little harder, if they just prove themselves, they'll finally get the respect they deserve. But that's not how it works. The more you beg, the less power you hold. The more you try to convince someone of your worth, the less they believe in it. Silence, on the other hand, makes people listen. When you stop explaining yourself, when you stop oversharing, when you stop seeking validation, people start paying attention. They start wondering what's on your mind. They start questioning why you're so certain, so composed, so unshaken. And that's when they respect you. Not because you asked for it, but because you embodied it. Think about this. When someone walks away from an argument without saying a word, they hold the power. When someone exits a situation without needing to explain, they control the narrative. When someone refuses to engage in drama, they rise above it. Silence isn't weakness, it's a statement. And it's louder than any argument you could ever make. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You don't need to explain why you deserve respect. You don't need to convince people of your value. Just step back. Just do the work. Just let your presence or your absence do the talking. Because the moment you stop trying to be heard, that's when people start listening. 5, immediately. Anything that drains you, slows you, or keeps you stuck has to go. People, habits, environments. If it's not pushing you forward, it's pulling you down. Too many people hold on, hoping things will change, hoping toxic relationships will fix themselves, hoping negative people will suddenly become positive. They won't. Dead weight stays dead until you cut it loose. You know exactly who and what is holding you back. You feel it. The exhaustion, the frustration, the constant energy drain. The longer you tolerate it, the longer you delay your own growth. You weren't meant to stay small, to stay surrounded by people who don't believe in you, to stay in places that keep you stuck. You were meant to rise. But you can't do that if you're carrying baggage that isn't yours. Cutting ties isn't cruel, it's necessary. You can't save everyone. You can't fix people who refuse to grow. You can't build momentum with anchors holding you down. Your growth should shock them. The best response to doubt, to disrespect, to being overlooked is growth. The kind that makes people stop and wonder how you did it. The kind that forces them to see you differently. People expect you to stay the same. They assume you won't change, won't evolve, won't push past the limits they placed on you. Prove them wrong, not with words, not with arguments, but with undeniable results. When you grow in silence, when you put in the work behind the scenes, when you level up without seeking validation, you become unstoppable. And the best part? they won't see it coming. The people who doubted you, underestimated you, overlooked you, they'll be the ones left in shock when they realize they misjudged you. Growth isn't just personal, it's a statement, it's proof that you refuse to stay in the box they put you in. Keep moving, keep evolving, and let them watch in disbelief. 7. Win in silence, let results speak. Talking about your plans doesn't get you results. Announcing your goals doesn't make them happen. Too many people waste energy trying to impress others with words instead of action. Real winners don't broadcast every move, they work. They grind in silence. They build without needing applause. And then one day the results speak so loudly that no explanation is needed. The loudest in the room is rarely the most successful. The ones who are truly making moves don't have time to convince people they're winning. They're too busy actually winning. While others are seeking attention, they're creating real impact. Every second spent proving yourself to others is a second taken away from actual progress. The world doesn't need to know what you're doing until it's done. Let them wonder. Let them doubt. Then let your success be the answer. 8. Absence forces appreciation. People don't notice what they always have access to. When you're always available, always giving, always showing up, they assume it's normal. But when you step back, when you stop overextending, when you create space, they see the effort they once overlooked. The calls they ignored, the support they took for granted, the presence they assumed would always be there. It all becomes obvious when it's gone. Absence isn't about manipulation, it's about revelation. It shows people the reality of what you provided. It separates those who valued you from those who only benefited from you. When you remove yourself from situations where you weren't appreciated, you don't lose anything, you gain clarity. And the ones who truly see your worth, they'll make sure they never lose you again. 9. You were the prize all along. Too many people spend their lives chasing validation, proving their worth, waiting for others to recognize their value. But the truth is, you were never the one who needed to be chosen. You were the prize. The problem is, when you don't see it, no one else will either. You settle. You tolerate less than you deserve. You accept breadcrumbs instead of demanding the full meal. The moment you realize your own worth, everything changes. You stop begging for attention. You stop proving yourself to people who don't deserve you. You stop waiting to be appreciated and start moving like someone who already knows their value. The right people, the right opportunities, the right energy, they're drawn to confidence, not desperation. When you finally see yourself as the prize, the world has no choice but to treat you that way. Tend on, make them feel your loss. But don't look back. When you walk away from anything that no longer serves you, make it final. No warnings, no second chances, no waiting for them to catch up. Your absence should be a wake-up call, not an invitation to negotiate. If they didn't appreciate you when they had you, they don't deserve unlimited access to you now. Let them feel what it's like to lose someone who gave them everything. Let them sit with the realization that they took you for granted. But while they're looking back, you're moving forward. Growth means not returning to what broke you. Strength means not reopening doors that should stay closed. Evolution means outgrowing people, places, and situations that couldn't rise with you. If they truly valued you, they wouldn't have needed to lose you to see it. Keep going and don't let nostalgia trick you into settling for less than you deserve. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to prove your worth. You don't need to beg for respect. All you need to do is step back and let them feel your loss. Cut the dead weight. Disrupt predictability. Stop chasing. Start growing. Win in silence. Make them appreciate you, not by asking for it, but by making your absence impossible to ignore. Because the truth is, you were always the prize. The only mistake? Letting them think they had you forever. No more. This is your time to level up, to take back your power, to let your results do the talking. If you got value from this, if this hit home for you, make sure to subscribe to Tony Robbins' track and keep feeding your mind with the fuel that creates real transformation. Now go. Do the work. Let them feel it. They will feel it. They will realize it. They will regret it. But by then, you're already gone. You're already winning. You're already building a life so powerful, so elevated, so unstoppable that their absence doesn't even matter. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them learn the hard way. And you keep rising, keep growing, keep proving through action, not words, that you were the prize all along. This is Tony Robbins' track. If you're ready to transform your life, hit that like button, share this message, and subscribe for more real talk that moves you forward. Now go out there and make them feel it.